Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the MisanthroPod. I am Snipe, and I like socks. I like socks, and I am Snipe. How are you? This is Wib.
I'm alright. You've been listening to Psycho Stick, though.
I have, yeah, I've got that stuck in my head, and it's the best song, and it has the best video as well, because there's a dog in it who likes socks.
That's true.
And that is truly the most beautiful images ever cast into the internet.
Yeah. Matt's also here.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I've still got like post-gig buzz, so
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
it's good.
You've got ants in your pants, and you're going to be chittering about.
Yep.
Yeah, we had quite a good gig last night at Ryan's Bar in Derby,
It was very good.
which was actually the place that we had our very first gig ever as a band.
Well, ever as a not quite a band yet. The first one, I think.
our
I wasn't there the
first-
first one, so it blatantly doesn't count.
Yeah, but then you were there at the second one
Yes.
at the same fucking venue, so
Yes.
that kind of counts.
Regardless of how you count it, our first gig was there.
Yes.
After 9 years, we finally went back and had one of the best gigs we've had in a while. So that was
Definitely.
nice.
It was really, really good, and it was a poker stop, which was just like icing on the cake, really.
It was between two poker stops, wasn't it?
It
So it
was.
was like overlapping.
Yeah. I was
Welcome.
honestly, like, we were watching one of the bands, because we headlined, and we were watching, I think it was the third band on.
Def Goldblum.
Yes. And I checked it. I checked my Pokemon Go, and there was a Mr. Mime in the area, and I sat there and I was like, I could literally derail this gig right now. I could fuck this gig up so bad. I could just go, hey everyone, attention, there is a Mr. Mime outside, and then everyone would fucking leave. I felt like God. It was...
No one man should have all that power.
I know, right? Oh, I resisted, though. I resisted the temptation, you know. A true measure of a man is you give him power and watch what he does with it. So I think I proved my righteousness that day. So that band fucking owes me, because holy shit.
This is the joys of actually having Pokestops in a city rather than like in a suburb or in the countryside. You go into the centre of town, and Derby's not like, you know, it's a city, but it's not huge. But it's just like, oh my lordy, there's so many Pokestops here.
Oh yeah, it's
I think-
fantastic.
I think our next poker picnic needs to we'll just wander around a town. I think 'cause it's probably the best way of doing it.
We'll literally have a picnic in the middle of Nottingham, because fuck
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, why not? Pop a few laws, it'll be fine. I'm sure no one will care.
You don't even need to in a town because everywhere's got a lawn anyway.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
amazing.
I've seen loads of places like, oh yeah, if you drop a law, come and show us and we'll give you like a 20% discount. and
Yeah,
stuff
I've
like
heard about that. Because they
It's
make
like-
so much money, like stores make so much money off it if you've got a law down.
Exactly,
Everyone's like, I could
exactly.
not go into that coffee shop, or I could just go in and get all the Pokemon and also buy things while I'm there.
Yeah, it's like, well, I do fancy a muffin, and this is a Pokestop that's been lured, so...
I like how Pokemon Go has become the new Overwatch of this podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to the MisanthroPod, the number one not Overwatch, the number one Pokemon Go podcast. Podemon cast. Oh, fuck it, I don't care. Let's talk more about Pokemon. We can talk about Overwatch.
We can't.
I
talk
don't
about
think we
Overwatch
should.
now.
No, I'd literally just be repeating myself. So. Gerard, but what have you been up to?
A little bit, to be fair. It's not my usual answer of nothing, which is good. When did
Okay.
we last record? 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, so what have
The
we done
podcast
since then?
does come out every 2 weeks.
I'm aware of schedules. I just turn up when summoned.
Pretty much.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
I guess things we did a bit more recording.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. I completely forgot about that.
And just following on from band conversation to have a bit of a link. So we're getting there. We've got one more weekend booked next weekend, and then we're done. As far as like us are concerned, and then it needs
As
to be
far
mixed.
as complete actual recording going,
Yeah,
then,
then it
then
needs
all
to
the
be-
the other stuff starts.
Yeah, mixed and mastered and all that sort of gumph. But
And we've got to do all the artwork and get everything printed and all
Well-
that nonsense.
Sort out the Kickstarter awards. Oh,
yeah, but the actual recording is nearly done, so that's a start.
We're still fucking like caught up on what should the CD case be made out of.
That is literally a
Yeah.
conversation, yeah.
Yeah, it's like cool, do cardboard because that's really snazzy. But plastic's the classic. But cardboard's nice.
Yeah, I'm swaying in terms of in cardboard just because it's, you know.
It does feel classic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to put a stop to this right now. I'm not going to be on a podcast where people are discussing the pros and cons between cardboard and plastic.
Okay.
Welcome to the MisanthroPod, the #1 materials comparison podcast.
Okay, John, I'm going to stop you there because polyurethane is obviously the best material, and I will fight you to the death to prove that.
Okay, so moving on from that, recording was good, and it's a little bit left, but it's good. The other thing I did last weekend, I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about on this podcast because it's sports related. I'm not sure whether that's condoned or.
You're allowed exactly 30 seconds to talk about sport.
Okay, well, I saw the ice hockey last weekend, and long story short, we got in for free accidentally.
Did you sneak in deliberately?
No,
and
we
accidentally got in for free?
we ordered tickets online, and then we got there and they double booked our tickets, but then only not charged us for them. So we had the confirmation saying we'd bought them, but for whatever reason, their server end it hadn't gone through, so it hadn't charged us, and then they just sold the seats to someone else. But they felt bad, so they let us in, and we sat in the media box and watched it from there. It was
Nice.
cool. But lots of fights.
Really?
Yes, that's usual like British hockey season.
Your 30 seconds are up, by the way.
Okay, well,
You can carry on, though.
all you need to know is fights. It was fun.
Did you get involved in said fights?
No, but the refs do.
Really?
Well, because the other players start fighting, and then the refs go over to try and stop it, and by stopping it, they basically have to skate up behind players and just bear hug them until they stop fighting, and occasionally, if they still keep fighting, just like launch them backwards, and like yeah, there's an amazing clip I'll send you later of like a ref going up to one of the players, just grabbing him from behind, throwing him. The player falls over and then skids across the ice. Like, these refs are badass.
You see, I've got this image in my head of like refs sneaking up behind the players and just pile driving them.
You know, I would legitimately watch wrestling on ice.
Wrestler-
So fucking hard.
Ooh. I mean, people would probably get their throats cut by blades, but
Yeah, people would land on the blades, and yeah, that wouldn't
That's
end well.
why you don't give them blades, you give them wood.
what you mean?
Wooden blades.
I was just thinking, like, just have dudes on an ice rink, just wrestling and sliding all over the place, like trying to do all the
No.
elaborate, like, acrobatic wrestling moves and just falling over.
But they're trying to figure skate and just tombstoning each other.
Ah, if you want a safer version of that, how about wrestling on bouncy castles?
Ooh,
That'd be really. Oh,
yeah, I'd watch
Dicko's
that.
mum did like break her shoulder on a bouncy castle this weekend though.
Well,
What?
Yeah, she broke her shoulder. She was
Oh.
like on a hen day and she was like, "Oh, jumpy castle," and then jumped on it once and then smashed her shoulder on the ground. Poor thing.
Is that why they weren't there last night then?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's like half. That's why half our fan base wasn't at the game.
Yeah. Dicko's mum. Yeah.
They don't count as your fan base if they're one of your mums and dads.
If they're your friends, mum and dad,
Yeah.
it's fine. But no, I think she was just kind of entering the prototype, on ice bouncy castle wrestling
Federation.
federation. Yeah, I can't think of the acronym for that, but it's probably really cool and way better
Yeah.
than NCO or WWF or anything. But yeah, I would pay to see Dwayne the Rock Johnson dressed as Frosty the Snowman pile driving people on ice.
To be fair,
In
you
a
just
bouncy
paid.
castle.
You just paid to see Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I'd literally pay
Yeah,
to see
that's
him
true.
eat cereal, but that's really beside the point. He's got a great jaw.
He's apparently got a big feud with Vin Diesel
Really?
on the new Fast and Furious
Oh yeah, I
movie.
heard a bit about that.
What, like an IRL beef or just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no,
oh, shit.
I don't know what it is because when you see a headline and then you go, I don't care enough to click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know why I brought it up really.
Well, maybe it's because Vin Diesel's into D&D, so maybe like Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like a bit of a problem player.
What is
Maybe
it, like a
he's
min maxer?
No, I wouldn't say he's a min-maxer. I'd just say he's like basically like thoroughly meta, and I would say he's probably like like Spoon, like the guy from the Spoonie Experiment. His Bard tandem, how he's like he'll do the most stupidest things, but he'll somehow like roll right and make it work. I'm guessing Dwayne the Rock Johnson is like that because he's a badass. So he's probably got this Bard like golem in the party who's always doing stupid things like, oh, you need to go and rescue the princess, and then he'll just basically like just grab any pretty woman off the street and go, this is your daughter now, pay me or I'll kill you.
Okay.
I feel that that's probably why they would be fighting.
Okay. I don't think it is. But
You can't say it isn't.
But since I don't know what the feud is caused by, then let's just say that's what it's caused by and move on.
Welcome to the
Yep.
MisanthroPod, the #1 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson podcast online.
The #1 making things up about celebrities podcast. Oh no, wait, that's Fist Shock.
Ooh, yeah, but they're way better.
That's all my sports news, just as a heads up, so you'll be
Oh,
happy.
good, good.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad.
Not much games. Well, I have been looking. I'm really tempted to get a 3DS.
Yeah,
Same.
we've been tempted to pick one up,
I've
actually.
been eyeing one up, and because they released the new one like last year, so it's not really new anymore, but it's still new because that's its official name, which is terrible.
Well, Nintendo don't know how to name
No,
consoles.
but at least like, okay, Wii and then Wii U is a bad idea, but at least it is a legitimately different name. It's just far too linked to the old one. And
Do you
it's
remember
rubbish.
when they sent around like an email to like all these Nintendo Wii owners going, yeah, you know the Wii U is a separate console, right? It's like the Wii 2?
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
buy it. Which is just like, wow, Nintendo, that's basically you in a nutshell.
But this is work because this doesn't have another name. Its official name is the new Nintendo 3DS
Oh,
or the
for
Nintendo
fuck's sake.
New 3DS or whatever the order is. So like, if you want to buy a second-hand one, you have to buy a second-hand new 3DS.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy one of the original 3DSs, which are still fine, there's not much difference. There's like the processor's better, but all the games are the same apart from so far one, which can't run on the old 3DSs. So they're functions, but the old ones are now really cheap. You can get like a new one for like 80 quid or so.
Okay, a new one or a
Well,
new-
that's the thing. You can get a new old 3DS.
Okay.
My brain.
Yeah, so it's a bit, but you can get them for like 80 quid now, brand new, but not the new one. Yeah, it makes talking about it harder than talking about the fucking X-Bone.
Yeah.
I would like to buy an Xbox One. You're like, but why is it so much? I want to buy an original Xbox. They should be like 30 quid. Why are they £400? Like, wait, no, the one is actually the third one.
I do really hate that like ever since the Xbox One was announced that you now have to specify original Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, it was annoying enough when you'd say Xbox and people would go, oh, 360, and you go, did I fucking stutter?
No, that's the thing. It's like, I'm sure they wanted people to call it the one.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
no.
you know, the Matrix is popular or fucking whatever.
It's the X-Bone.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the X-Bone, and we'll always, it's original Xbox 360 X-Bone.
Like, I love it how that was just its name from, like, day one.
Yeah.
And
I
people
remember
just
seeing-
insist on calling it that forever now.
I remember seeing the conference and just on Twitter, people immediately going, X-Bone. I'm just like, holy shit, that is a better name. It was fantastic.
See, wherever you stand in the whole console Microsoft Sony thing, at least you can admit PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, it just makes way more sense.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier.
It might be cold, it might be clinical, but at least you know exactly
Yes.
which one you're dealing with.
Yep.
Until they release the 4.5, which, yeah, or whatever that one's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet, so we don't have to worry about it.
It's not like I saw a few places refer to it as like the PlayStation 4K, which is like, fuck off, can you do that? But that's beside the point.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, so we'll no doubt bitch about that when it does happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely, that's what we're here for.
Because this podcast exists to just be a long-form method of bitching.
We literally just sit here and whinge for an hour and a half and then fuck off.
Yeah, so 3DS. Apparently, the other difference between the new 3DS and the old 3DS is that the new one can play Binding of Isaac.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
wait, I thought they weren't going to put Binding of Isaac on the DS.
Oh, they did. They did eventually. They just had a lot of problems when they were trying to get it certified originally because basically every single thing in The Binding of Isaac is the sort of thing Nintendo don't want on their console.
Yeah, well, you can
Religious
have
symbols, child abuse.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can have up to mature rating, but you can't have adults only. So I don't know what Binding of Isaac
I
was.
wouldn't. I mean, I personally wouldn't classify Binding of Isaac as an AO.
I don't think
I'd
it
say
is.
maybe like.
So as long as it's not one of them, they're allowed to have it on there. It was helped. I was reading a thing about this earlier. It was helped by the fact that quite a few people who like work on the 3DS are massive Binding of Isaac fans. So it was kind of they had it. They had an inroad there. So, but that only works on the new 3DS and not the old
Ah.
3DS. Even if you buy an
The
old
new
one,
new or the new old?
even if you buy an old one brand new, it won't work. But you could buy an old new one, and that'd be fine.
Ah,
Sorry.
why? It's like they don't want people talking about their fucking products. Oh my god. Hurts my head.
Oh, you also you mentioned you saw Suicide Squad as well.
Yes. So yeah, moving from games to other video watching things. Yes.
Because I
Suicide
just want to remind people that we said like months ago on the podcast that it was probably going to be quite bad.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't bad. It was fine, I guess.
Was it edgy?
No, because they took all the edgy stuff out of it when they made it fun or whatever they were trying
Interesting side note. Apparently, the UK premiere's dress code for Suicide Squad was literally, quote, edgy. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so I'm just gonna go hot topic. And
It's fine. They just got MySpace to write the invites.
they literally did. Like, alt caps X bloody rose golf 666. I punch hamsters. I don't fucking know. Lol so random XD raw.
Yes.
That's literally half the Suicide Squad script. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
That's some of the parts.
Tell
they
us
cut.
about the movie, Matthew.
Well, yeah. No, it was fun.
That's
It
a good
that's
review.
The thing, it's similar in some regard to like Ghostbusters in the sense the new one, because when that came out, everyone was like either getting really angry and quite often sexist about it. That's a whole separate thing. But either saying, "Oh, it's going to be awful," and then there was people saying, "Oh no, it's going to be the best thing ever," and then it came out and it was fine. And it was it wasn't either of those two extremes. It's quite similar to this. It was entertaining. The characters were quite good. The editing was like all over the shop.
Yeah,
Mainly
I'm not
because they filmed
surprised.
like 1.5 films worth of stuff and then quickly had to bodge it together.
Yeah.
So it's a
no.
little bit like, yeah, the story was like the final third act with the big ending bit. Like the main baddie was just a bit rubbish. Like it was quite bland, and you're like, well, if you have these powers, why aren't you just taking over the world and doing things rather than just making one of those sky beam things that's in every film at the moment.
But like the bad guy Skybeam thing is like the most important bad guy
Yeah.
trope of like.
If you're gonna be a supervillain, then it's like just part of the thing. You've got to get yourself a mask, a persona, and then get yourself a space laser thing.
A
you know?
sky beam.
Like to shoot into the sky. That's
Yeah.
just what you got to do.
That's how
Yeah.
you're a bad guy. 101. It's easy.
So yeah, like the story wasn't brilliant, which is I guess quite a lot of a film. But then like it was shot quite well, and it was. Will Smith was really good.
I've heard that
Deadshot.
he's
really
like
cool.
really good. I have heard he's very good in it, but he's just playing himself basically.
Well, you say that, but like actually, when you watch it, you very quickly forget it's Will Smith, which is always a good sign.
I'm always very surprised by Will Smith's like how good an actor he can be.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
He occasionally chooses some terrible films to be in.
Oh yeah.
Are
Not
you-
Wild Wild West though.
I was
'cause that
about
was
to
the best movie of all fucking time, and I will fight that.
No, I will defend Wild Wild West forever. Yes, no, I'm
Yes.
with you on that. Wild West.
Wiki Wild Wild West.
Do you want to know something that made
Jim
me feel
West.
really old?
Desperado.
Something that made me feel really old I saw the other day was like a steampunk Facebook group that someone I knew had like liked something on, and they'd posted a picture of the giant robot spider thing from Wild Wild West, like with, "Oh wow, does anyone know where this is from?" And I'm just like, "Oh fuck off."
Oh,
Like
God.
you don't know Wild Wild West, and then I was like, "Oh shit, how long ago did that come out?"
No. It's their fault. They are literally worse people for not hearing about Wiki Wild Wild
About
West.
Wiki Wild Wild West.
Exactly.
Jim
and
West.
Desperado. That fucking movie. It's so beautiful.
So bad. I do actually really want to watch it again. Because it's been so long since I've seen it. I think actually the last time I saw it might have been when it was at the cinema.
Holy shit. 40 years ago.
Yeah, like, was that? Because that was like one of the big movies he did like after the first Men in Black, wasn't it?
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was after Men in Black 1 as well, I think.
Yeah, they were a similar time
Yeah.
if I remember rightly.
Hmm.
So that's like late 90s, right?
I would think so, yeah.
And that's me being generous and making myself feel less old.
But yeah, I'm very disappointed that Will Smith didn't bring out like a really lame-o kind of like rap song for Suicide Squad.
Ooh, Men in Black was after Independence Day. I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, really?
Independence Day was 96, so it was. I guess that's why the new one came out this year. It was like in 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Men in Black was 97. Wild West was 99.
Oh.
Really? Oh
And
shit! I didn't think it was that late.
Yeah, and Men in Black 2, 2002, and other Gump in between. I say Gump, where he played Muhammad Ali and did things, just
Or
those sort of
whatever.
extra.
Did all those legitimately artistic movies that people might actually want to watch.
Yeah.
No, why would you ever want to watch those when you have Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West?
Oh, that is true.
But Suicide Squad the story was a bit weak, but it was entertaining and the characters were good. Like Margot Robbie as Harley. It wasn't as I was expecting it to be. Lol, isn't she so random because she's crazy and like sort of a bit. And it was a little bit like that. It did err a little bit on the side of this is just taking the piss out of like people with like serious mental illness.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. And not to put too fine a point on it, she looked quite good in hot pants. So
Well, I'm pretty
there's always
sure.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good backup.
See, that's the thing they should put on the cover of the DVD. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, and also Margot Robbie looks good in hot pants. Drama Matt.
Basically, Drama Mad reporting from the sofa.
Yeah, it's worth seeing if you want a sort of summer blockbustery entertaining film. Probably not worth repeat viewings, maybe. And yeah, it's fun. And Joker was an interesting one as well because for all of the faff and whatever you think about it going into the thing, he ends up with 7 minutes of screen time, and like that 7 minutes could just be straight up taken out the film, no re-editing done at all, and the film will be no different.
I love the fact that he is like pissed off the entire cast of that movie for
nothing.
life. Like they're never going to let that go because he pissed them off that much.
He threw dead pigs at them and shit.
Yeah, all for 7 minutes of screen time.
That could be removed.
They did film a lot more apparently. So I don't know if it's going to be because all the other DC ones they've released an edit to the cinemas that was fine, and then released an ultimate version which is a bit better. So I don't know if they're going to do that with this. I assume they will.
I really hope the ultimate version is just those 7 minutes removed.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Because then I would literally watch Jared Leto's face for the entirety of the fucking runtime just to be entertained by his horrifying, like, I can't believe I ate dead termites for this shit. I was so edgy, though.
I mean, there is the whole thing of that, yeah. It's probably good that they tried to do something different with the Joker.
Yeah, no, they couldn't have ever tried to just do Heath Ledger's take on it because it wouldn't have been as good. So,
no.
And I don't think in a modern movie they could do like a Jack Nicholson style Joker again.
No,
like a real slapstick kind of Joker.
Yeah, I just don't think that'd fly. So they had to try something and think out the box. Which, granted, the grills and the tattoos they did. They did think out the box.
Well, no, they did, and fair enough for actually trying to make
well, they just
like
made
a
him a bit
different
more
character.
of a sort of a gangster style of things rather than. And it was fine. Like it was, like the bits you actually see him in are just fine. He's a Joker. It's not the best Joker, but it's probably not the worst. It's just in it. It's just the funny thing is, he's just in it for so infrequently. It's just kind of almost irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, that's just the icing on the cake. It's like, holy shit! He was like, oh, I went full method and I punched toddlers and I told the duck to fuck off and I've really committed to my role and. Fucking 7 minutes, dude. Oh my god.
Honestly, I think that we get more entertainment out of how little Jared Leto is in the movie than if we'd actually watched the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, just knowing that fact just entertains us endlessly.
That literally, I'm tempted to go and give, I don't know, the editors the price of admission for the cinema because I've been so thoroughly entertained by that fact. But yeah. I will have to see it one of these. I'll wait until it comes out on DVD and then I'll see it. I don't fancy seeing it at the cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I've still been meaning to get through all the DC Cinematic Universe movies because I haven't seen any of them. I've just seen bits and pieces of them, but I've never actually sat down and watched any of them. And I know that all of them are probably movies I won't like, but I have to see for myself.
Oh yeah, you can't judge them until you've seen them. I mean, then you will immediately judge them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thoroughly.
I still haven't seen the first Man of Steel. But I think I saw the Batman vs Superman. I think that the cliff notes it gives at the start kind of sums up the whole film, and I kind of feel like I don't need to see it now. So.
Oh dear. That's a good sign.
Yeah, promising.
The narrator literally goes, "Here's spoilers, blah blah blah. Fucking go home."
From what I understand, just imagine the origin story of Superman, but make everything grey.
Yeah, and then make him destroy like an entire city and kill like millions of people.
I'm way more interested in Soups as like a bad guy anyway. I think he's a shit good guy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm like, there's no weaknesses or anything apart from this ridiculously rare thing that literally every person who is like a criminal or has a criminal record owns a piece of jewellery with it on.
Yeah, no, well, I've always said that Superman is the worst character in fiction.
No,
so.
I'm not a fan. No, but I like him as a bad guy because then, like, he's just so much more interesting as a bad guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But that's just me.
How often is he a bad guy?
Not
Every now
very
and again.
often, but he's occasionally a bad guy.
Yeah, well, it's the thing when you have an all-powerful hero, they become a very boring hero because you have to invent weaknesses for him, whereas an all-powerful villain can be interesting because then there's something to be overcome.
Yeah.
Which is why Godzilla makes a better villain than a hero.
Oh, why don't you just kiss Godzilla?
Because I'm not allowed near him.
Okay.
Not after the incident.
And you're not tall enough.
You're not. You're not tall enough. You could probably kiss his like foot or his tail.
I'm not into that. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I'm not judging.
Okay, we are not kink shaming fucking anyone on this show.
Hey,
okay?
I didn't say I thought it was weird. I just said I'm not into that.
So you agree? You think it's weird?
No, just that I'm not into that.
Okay. So what else have you been up to, Drummer Butt?
Not too much. We've been watching Stranger Things on Netflix.
I've heard so many good things about that.
It's very good. I'd heard literally nothing about it.
I don't know what it's about. I think someone was like, oh, it's kind of a bit like what is it, like Tales from the Crypty kind of thing?
Yeah,
where it's like all different stories.
It was really nice being able to, because one of our friends recommended it, and he said it's set in the 80s and it's got an amazing soundtrack, which is always a good start. And you should watch it, it's really good. But then he said don't look anything into it, because if you don't know about it, not that you need to not know about it to enjoy it, but he said it's so nice to have not heard anything about it and just going in completely fresh. So I was like, okay, cool. So we started watching it without looking into it, and it's been really nice not knowing. I don't even know how many episodes there is, because I've tried to avoid looking on Netflix to see how many there is. Because like we were watching, I can't remember what it was before, but we were watching something, and sort of like stuff was kicking off. But I was like, oh wait, no, because it's only episode 8 out of 12, so it can't finish now, so they'll be fine. And it's just little things as simple as that. Like, I don't know how long it is, so I have no idea what's going to happen. And it's been really quite nice, but it's very good. It's on Netflix, so I definitely recommend.
Yeah, definitely. No, I have
it.
been meaning to watch it.
The soundtrack is beautiful. It's like full on like 80s synthy, but like not at all cheesy somehow.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
You know,
brilliant.
it's really funny when it comes to 80s music. Of that, if it's just music to listen to, I fucking hate 80s music. I fucking despise it. I really hate it. However, as a soundtrack to a movie or a game, I often really like it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, no, I don't really have the same hatred.
Oh no, it's
Because it just reminds me of that very popular female hairstyle, and that's all I can see in my head. It's
what, the 80s
scene,
music.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like that scene from Terminator 1 when Sarah Connor's in that noir. I'm trying to speak and I can't. It's like a bar called Noir.
Okay.
Because like the Terminator's following her, and it's like you've got me burning. It's just like everyone's doing that weird like 80s dance where they kind of look like they're about to run and stop and then change direction. And they've all got that huge fucking hair and like really built up shoulder pads and like quarter rolled up sleeves, and they're all just doing this weird like looking kind of like they're skiing but being put on pause. And that's just every time I hear like 80s synth, that's exactly what my brain goes to.
Okay.
But before like the shootout happens, so it's not that fun.
Shall we move on to something else?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you been up to?
I have played some video games.
Get out.
No
I really
way.
have. Unfortunately, they are the games that I've also played for the channel, which I've actually carried on playing afterwards.
Oh, fair
So
enough.
I actually went through and beat Grow Home, that we did a video of.
That is a really cute little game.
Yeah, on Wednesday. I don't know, did you see that video, Matt?
No, is this the newer one?
Yeah,
No, I haven't watched that yet.
yeah. Well, you basically play as a small red robot called Bud, and you have to climb on this giant plant to make it, and then we go to like the buds on it, and then you hit X on them while holding on, because it's kind of got a bit of a an almost QWOP style thing where you I mean it's nowhere near that bad, but you have to like climb up things, and it's like the physics are all really wonky. But you have to climb up this thing, and then you grab onto the buds, and then you hit X, and then they will grow, and it kind of looks very phallic. And then you have to jam your phallic plant bud into these giant, like, floating, like, not seeds, but
like crystal things.
Like crystal things, and that makes the main plant grow up bigger, which looks even more phallic, until it reaches space and hatches, and then they're like star seeds, and you have to go and harvest the seeds.
Isn't it like on the actual Steam store page, it's like the last thing it features is, yes, we know what they look like.
Yeah, well, it does on the sequel anyway, because the sequel came out this week, called Grow Up. I haven't played that yet, but because I hadn't played the first one until like Tuesday, the day that Grow Up came out, so I've since gone through and beaten Grow Home, which it's really quite fun. It's only a few hours long, but it's the sort of game that they've made, so there's quite a lot to do in it.
A lot of replayability.
Okay. Yeah, so once you've grown the plant to its highest point, and you've harvested the seed you need to and brought it to your spaceship, because it grows so high that you actually reach your spaceship, and so can jump into it. Don't ask about how gravity works that high up. It's probably best not to think about it.
Probably fine.
But you go into your ship, and the computer there, who's called Mom, gives you basically the challenge. Go, okay, now find all the other star seeds that fell off the plant, and they're scattered around the level, which could be anywhere at any height. So you go down, you get all these seeds, all the while encountering all kinds of weird things like there's the dodos who are called warbles.
They're really cute. You will love them, dude.
There's an achievement for grabbing them and then yanking them away. Well, actually, it's just an achievement for like finishing a database where you get all.
Sorry.
You're right there.
If you Google image search "grow up warbles," it's horrifying.
What?
Okay.
I recommend to no one to do this ever.
What is it? Do you put grow up or grow home?
Grow up.
Oh God.
And then how do you meant to spell it? I spelled it WARBLES.
Yeah.
Yeah, type in grow up warbles and click images.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah, no, don't do that.
No, seriously, don't. It's not okay. For people who are like, oh, I might Google it. Okay, it's nothing sexual. It's just really gross bug and maggot shit.
Because there's a kind of
fucked up.
There's a kind of fly called a warble fly,
and it's disgusting.
And it seems to.
Sorry, I completely derailed you then, but I couldn't help but go.
They like do something to rabbits and cause them to have these weird pustules on them.
Okay,
that's horrible.
Yeah, anyway,
don't
sorry.
fucking Google it.
Yeah, okay.
You'll need brain bleach.
Okay, after being derailed somewhat there. Okay, so yeah, you like collect all these things and you take them to your checkpoints, and then they get scanned, and you build up a database. That's one of the secondary things you can do. And so like you do ridiculous things like the dodo things. They only live in caves, so you'll like go into a cave, grab one, run out of the cave with it, launch yourself off this floating rock that you're on, and fall 300 feet.
While the dodo's sitting there going, what the fuck is this guy's damage?
And then just use a jetpack to like land safely like miles below, and then put it in the thing.
That's why the dodos went extinct, because people were fucking like base jumping with the poor bastards.
There was also an achievement.
When you say put it in the thing, what are you putting it in?
The thing.
In the checkpoint.
Thing.
Okay.
That is like a computer thing. That's also a teleporter. It's weird.
Okay.
There's also you can also do that with like sheep things, which I forget what they're called. Meeps, I think, actually, what they're called.
Mareep.
They're not called Mareep, no. There's actually an achievement for drowning those.
What?
So just grabbing them, just running into the ocean with them, and then just staying there.
That's the wrong kind of sheep dip, son.
I may have that achievement.
Oh my god,
I feel like a bad
psychopath.
person. But yeah, there's lots of little achievements like that of like, oh, go find all the caves, or go get all these things. Because there's also a thing where you collect crystals and they power you up and give you more abilities. The first ability you get is camera control. Because apparently you have to unlock camera control.
It is a privilege.
Good game. I can totally recommend it. Depending on how much game you want for your money, you might consider like a game that lasts like 2-3 hours being like £7. Like, you might think that's a bit much. I think it's alright.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, we got it in a humble bundle a while back,
Oh, okay.
so,
Right. Yeah.
so it wasn't a big, it's not a big deal. But no, it does seem really good. And there's a sequel just come out, which now I've done that, I'll pick up at some point, and that seems fun. I also been playing a lot of Red Faction Guerrilla that we played
We did
2
play.
weeks ago.
We did a video on that.
Yeah, we did a video on that as well, which I've been quite enjoying because we did Red Faction Armageddon.
That was the first one we
we
played.
did that a while back and really enjoyed that because I mean I don't know if you remember, Matt, but like it was a more linear game, but you still had the giant hammer that you could wreck shit
Yeah, I'm
with,
trying to
and
think. I played one of the Red Faction games.
Was it the first one on the PS2? By any
It was
chance?
on the PS2.
I think there was 2 Red Faction games on the PS2. There was the original one, and then there was a sequel, which I can't remember if it was just called Red Faction 2 or not.
I feel like it was a sequel that I played, but I don't know why it would have been. But it was like, yeah, they got really excited about destructible environments, and it was just like, very occasionally there'd be a wall you could blow up.
Yeah, that was always the
It's like,
complaint with the original Red Factions.
Okay.
Whereas later on with the later games, they just sort of went with, okay, the terrain isn't destructible, but every building is.
Okay.
And yeah, you can just straight up go at them with a giant sledgehammer and demolish them like brick by brick. It is fucking amazing.
It's pretty metal.
The main difference between Armageddon and Guerrilla is that Guerrilla was the first one. Well, it's the earlier one of the two, and that was open world, whereas Armageddon was a linear game.
Okay.
Which isn't quite as fun for something where you're just supposed to fuck around and destroy stuff. Like, the open world really does add something to it.
Yeah.
Although what I will say is that it does have the single most cliched intro of any piece of media I've ever encountered.
It's actually kind of cool. It's actually pretty magical how cliched it is.
Oh yeah, it's like you start off and you're on Mars, and it becomes very apparent there's like an oppressive organisation like running the place.
That
You're like,
won't give these people air.
yeah, it's like so far, so Total Recall, okay. And then you meet your brother, who, by the way, both you and your brother are short-haired white dudes.
Because of course.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because obviously. With a little bit of stubble, because,
Oh, yeah.
they've got to. And then you go do the first mission, and then it turns out that I think your brother's like something to do with the rebel faction. The Red Faction.
Red Faction, if you will.
Right.
And so your brother gets killed, and so you become part of the rebel faction then. It's like...
It's literally like, oh, yeah, you know how, like, the guys killed your brother? Well, you're part of our resistance group now. And it's like, what? Okay. It's
Also,
that's
you are
pretty
now
much
our
it.
leader. Yeah. What?
I don't think you're the leader.
You know.
No, but you do everything for them.
You do literally everything as if you were the leader and, like, the number one, like, lackey.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you go through that intro where you can, every story beat of it, you can predict, it's ridiculous. Then it gets into the game itself, and the story just kind of exists mostly as just a vehicle to get you from one destructible area to another. But the actual game itself is really, really fun, because there's, like, proper story missions in each area that you do.
Yeah.
And those progress the story, but in order to unlock those story missions, you just have to cause mayhem.
You have to break stuff.
You just have to break shit, yeah. And just destroy... destroy...
Oh, cool.
Random things that belong to the enemy, who are the EDF. Not related to the Earth Defense Force
I was
video
thinking
games.
of the other one.
I was thinking of Electricity de France, or whatever it's called.
I was thinking of
Yeah,
the hate group.
energy company.
Oh, that's EDL.
Oh, okay. Thank fuck I got that wrong. See, now, it's like, this just sounds like it is literally the best game ever to listen to Limp Bizkit and play.
Yes.
Probably, actually.
That would be euphoric, I believe.
I mean, it's a little bit janky. Like, the controls aren't the best.
When was it made?
A few years back. I can't remember exactly.
That's it's relatively new.
It was
Ish.
it was PS3, Xbox 360 sort of
Okay.
period. So it's not super old, but
Ish.
it's old enough now.
Yeah.
It is starting to look its age, and it does feel its age now.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still definitely worth playing if you haven't. I think that's pretty much all I've done. But both of those games, both Grow Home and Red Faction, I can totally recommend
Nice.
if you haven't played them. I can also recommend Red Faction Armageddon, the one afterwards, because even though it's linear, I still think it's quite fun. It's just go play Guerrilla first, because it's better.
Yeah.
So, Snipe, what
Yes.
have you been doing?
Well,
If you say Overwatch,
Okay, I think I have a better question.
What else have I been doing?
Well, my actual question was going to be, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Metal Gear Survive, shall we?
Sure.
Let's talk about that. Drummer, but do you have any fucking idea what Metal Gear Survive is?
No, when you said you wanted to talk about MGS, I assumed the obvious. I've heard literally nothing about this.
Metal Gear Survive.
Survival horror based in the Metal Gear universe?
It's not even survival horror. Would you like to know what it is?
Is it Don't Starve but with Solid Snake?
No, that's MGS3, but nice. No, it is literally a 4-player co-op zombie survival.
Hang on, what?
Yeah. Fucking yeah.
What?
Yeah, that just screams Metal Gear, doesn't
What?
it? Obviously, it had to be set in the Metal Gear universe.
They released a trailer, I think it's Gamescom, the convention.
Right, yeah.
And, yeah, basically the plot is, I think it's set after Peace
Oh no,
Walker.
it's set after Peace Walker, and it's alternate universe.
Yeah, and basically when the thing that the mother base thing that they've got, that something happens to that in the main canon.
A portal opens up above it and sucks all the fucking soldiers away as Kaz and Snake just fuck off in a helicopter going, whew, shit, so glad we got out of this fucking bag of wank.
Yeah.
I can read lips, that's exactly what they say.
Is this game, is it published by Konami?
Yes.
Is it literally just a middle finger to Kojima, saying, we own what you did, we're going to make it terrible?
See, I don't even think that's it, but that's exactly what they're fucking doing. Because, like, I think they're just like, well, people got angry about Metal Gear 5 and the way we apparently treated Kojima badly, so let's just release another Metal Gear game, because it's easy, isn't it? And now, the funniest fucking thing is that people turn around, because the trailer's basically a bunch of action, and then there's, like, a square, like, a cube of chain link fence surrounded by zombies that are like unicorn zombies. They have like things in their face.
Right.
And there's just like 4 people just like shooting through the chain link fence.
Or stabbing them with knives on the end of poles.
Yeah.
Or shooting them with overly elaborate bow and arrows.
That could not be cheap.
No.
But yeah. And it's like, and they're like, oh no, it's gonna be very stealth based. It's like, so, you're saying that you lied to us with the trailer, but you're not lying now? Or, yeah, fuck Konami.
Basically.
It's like, I can barely get mad at them anymore. It's like...
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, if they were to, say, release another Metal Gear game that was a Metal Gear game that we can recognise.
I've got an idea. How about, like... Because everyone says that MGS5's story stops short of the final mission. There is no final fucking mission. There is no solution to the story. So maybe fucking release that instead of a 4-player co-op fucking survival zombie game.
But I mean, the thing is, like, I guess what they wanted to do, they just wanted to release a Metal Gear game so that the fans of Metal Gear don't think that the series is completely dead.
So that the fans of Metal Gear can literally implode with rage.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, Konami have long proven that they don't actually understand
anything.
Well, they don't understand that, like, not anyone can make a game. Like, you can't just give a franchise license to anyone and get them to make something good, because, I mean, that's what's happened with Silent Hill for years. And I understand them wanting to put a game out so that it establishes that, no, Metal Gear isn't dead. But what they've done...
was just another nail in the coffin, really.
Well, that's the thing. What they've actually released is, like, look, after everything that happened with Kojima and Metal Gear 5... After that, what you needed to do was to make the most stereotypical Metal Gear game. You needed to do something that was all stealth. If you were smart, you'd release something that was actually set in the sort of, Metal Gear 3 era stuff.
See, if they were very, very smart, and yeah, the fucking Metal Gear 3 era pachinko machine drove me fucking insane, because it's like the most beautiful scene in any Metal Gear game that honestly have made thousands cry, because it's so beautiful. And then advertising pachinko with it. But I digress. If they were really clever and they really wanted to garner fucking fan appreciation, release a Metal Gear Solid HD. Like, fucking basically make it look like MGS5. Bring the gang back together, remake it. Same script. Basically, I know like Twin Snakes is a thing, but come on.
Yeah, just remake the original one.
I'd hate myself, but I'd buy it.
Yeah, or just do. I mean, they could always say redo Metal Gear 3 in the Fox engine.
Yeah.
That also would.
That looked fucking beautiful.
But then they'd have to give credits to Kojima, and they'll never do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because they don't understand why they make money.
No. But the thing I was going to say, like, so they obviously want to just have a Metal Gear game to put out there. But the problem is that if they'd have made a game like this and it wasn't attached to Metal Gear, if it was just generic zombie survive, whatever you want to call it, then people would look at it and they'll go, it looks a bit generic, but whatever, I'll give it a go.
That's the thing, the fact that they've stapled Metal Gear onto it is just like insult to injury.
That's the thing, after everything that's happened with Kojima and Metal Gear 5 and microtransactions and all the stuff that Konami have done to the Metal Gear franchise and the pachinko machine and everything to piss people off, this is never going to make people happy. This is like a calculated effort to piss people off.
Like, what do they think would happen? It's like, okay, they do the car commercial, which, if people don't know, they literally got, they get Paul Lighting and David Hayter, like, to do, like, a codec conversation. And I get, like, I follow David Hayter on Twitter, because of course I fucking do, and he posts, like, a script, it's like, Colonel, like, you know, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. And, like, I get super hyped. And then it turns out it's for a fucking car commercial. It's like, it's just the most cringe-worthy thing. Seriously, like, you'll be able to find it online. It's so horrible. It's like, Colonel, I don't understand. This is such a cushy ride. How can this car only cost this much with finance available? And it's like, everything I love is dead.
You see, now, Metal Gear fans are now going through the same things that, like, people who are fans of the Alien franchise have been going through since about the mid-80s.
The most painful thing is that I am also an Alien fan.
Yeah.
The world wants me dead.
You don't make it easy on yourself, do you?
I really don't. I'm also a Terminator fan, and that's got me fucking nowhere, has it? But yeah, it's just like, honestly, I'm nerd raging pretty severely, but like, it's kind of, I couldn't expect anything else from Konami. Because they're a brain dead company.
I mean, honestly, I'm just kind of surprised that that the next Metal Gear game isn't like a freemium, like, mobile game.
Morpega.
or to be like a straight up. I mean, I know this is like, you know, Metal Gear Survive is like an online shooter, but not just a straight up like proper Metal Gear Online.
Well, MGO.
Like, yeah.
I mean, they terminated that a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, well, isn't there? There's one in Metal Gear 5.
I think there is, yeah.
Because they periodically.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, they periodically try and get Metal Gear Online to be a thing.
No, yeah, I mean, I tried it, and it was really not my thing, but that's the thing, that wasn't the main game.
Yeah.
Another thing about Metal Gear Survive is that they're saying that it's not going to be a full-price release.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I don't care. It's like, well, okay, I guess that's good of you, but could you maybe take Metal Gear off it? Because just call it Survive. Because then I'd give it a go.
Is it actually called Metal Gear Survive, or is it called Metal Gear Solid Survive?
It's Metal Gear Survive.
Okay. But it's just Konami for you, you know. I don't know, like, do they think this is going to get the response they want?
They must do,
well,
that's the thing.
Yeah, like, presumably they think, okay, well, we've got a game here, it needs some sort of IP attached to it, let's make it Metal Gear and that'll make it sell more. Yeah. But that's not what's going to happen, is it?
No, it's just going to make everyone nerd rage.
Because the only people who that would increase the sales to are people who are Metal Gear fans who are not going to want this.
Exactly.
So I don't understand why they just attach like any old bullshit IP to it. Cause it's
Castlevania Survive.
Because if it's like an alternate universe Metal Gear thing, it could just as easily be an alternate universe anything else thing.
Exactly. It could be like.
Why don't we call it Snatcher Survive?
Oh, because I literally just implode. Because Snatcher is a fantastic fucking game.
Which is set in the Metal Gear universe.
It is, actually.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Very cool, Konami do Pro Evo, as in the
Pro Evo
Survive.
The not FIFA football game.
Not FIFA Survive.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. If they did make a football themed zombie game, I'd want to play it.
That'd be good. It would be
good.
functionally the same game. You just change the name, and that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Like update the skins to be football kits. not
Yeah,
armor
like pop
or
in a
whatever.
football and make the football like somebody's head.
Yeah, but it basically worked like Wacker in Final Fantasy X, where he hurls his blitzball at people to damage them.
Blitzball survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, Konami, fucking pay us money, because seriously, we're coming up with way better ideas than you.
To be fair, I kind of get the impression that if we went to Konami now and said, hey, we can make a Castlevania game, before we finish that sentence, they'd give us the license.
They're apparently doing that with literally everything else, so...
They're worse than Games Workshop for that at the moment.
Oh, God, yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, when it was released and the massive negative reaction happened, they were like, oh, shit. Well, it's really stealth-based, you guys, and people are just like, that's not... No.
That's not.
That's not right. And they're like, it's not gonna be $60, and people are like, we don't fucking care. It's like,
what I like is that it doesn't even appear to have any of the characters that you like in it.
It's literally got generic soldiers 1 through 26.
Because, like, you literally see Big Boss, and it's Kaz, isn't it?
Kaz,
the other
yeah.
character, fly away in the trailer. Like, not to be involved
Literally,
in the game.
If somebody just replaced Kaz and like Naked Snake with Kojima, that would be the most perfect fucking metaphor. Like, this like, Mother Base fucking exploding and a portal opening up and them all, like, reaching for their boss going, don't leave us! Kojima's like, I fucking gotta, bro.
I'm fucking gone.
That's literally what happened.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Actually, I do have a little bit of a topic that I wanted to at least bring up.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is sort of, as we were talking about, I guess, anti-hype, I want to talk about actual hype.
Okay.
Because it's something that confuses me a lot.
What, being excited or happy about things?
Well, there is that, but I mean in a more specific situation. So No Man's Sky came out recently.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. Before anyone leaves us an angry comment, wait until you hear what we have to say, because I don't fancy getting death threats.
Oh, yeah.
Are you worried about getting death threats from people who like it and think you're going to be negative, or people who don't like it and think you're going to be positive? Because I have no idea.
Both. Because, I mean, there have been, like, the vocal minority. There's quite a good few No Man's Sky fans. And the vocal minority within them has been really nasty about anyone who's, like, doesn't say
Yeah.
it's exactly perfect.
But yeah, what...
Oh, yeah, there's always a minority of people who say that about everything, though.
But what I was going to talk about was that No Man's Sky obviously came out to an immense amount of hype, a ludicrous, and honestly, for a game that's not part of an existing franchise, I'd want to say possibly an unprecedented amount of hype.
I'd say that's fair.
Like, people were so excited for this game. Why?
Because it's something we've never seen before. It's literally an exploration survival crafting game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
We've never seen any game do that
like
at
the-
all before 100 times.
Like, I mean, I've seen the game, and I think it's the sort of game that I'd probably enjoy for a little while, because it's kind of a mindless, kind of walky, roundy, mind stuff kind of game, and I kind of get into those a bit. So I'd probably enjoy it for a little while, but like, apart from the art style, which is admittedly very kind of interesting, like
yeah.
the kind of colour palettes it
It is
uses,
pretty.
very cool. But like, everything I saw about it was like, well, that looks interesting, but I don't get where the hype comes from, because I was shown the game and I went, okay, that looks interesting, and that's the only kind of response to it. I'll wait till it comes out and see if it's any good, which it turns out, if we're talking about the PC version, no.
Yeah, apparently
yeah.
it does need a lot of work doing,
Yeah.
to it,
You
which
could
I
just-
really feel for No Man's Sky fans,
Oh,
having
yeah.
to deal with that. It's like, because it was delayed.
Oh, many times, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
But that's the thing, like, when it was delayed, like, the devs were getting, like, death threats,
Yeah.
and the people that reported on it having delays were getting death threats. I don't get why people were so excited about this game. It's like, I kind of understand, like, say when a new, like, I don't know, a new Uncharted is coming out, like, something like that. I understand, because obviously there's even if I don't particularly like Uncharted, I kind of understand, because it's a series that's been going for a long time. People are invested in it, they want to see where it goes, and they just want to play another iteration of it. Fair enough. I totally get that. And even, like, though I never understood why people were super hyped about Destiny, because people were hyped about it when we were literally only being shown skyboxes,
Yeah.
and the information that it was being developed by Bungie, and I'm like, neither of those things make me excited. But at least it was like, okay, it's a follow-on from Halo. Again, even though I don't personally particularly care for Halo, I kind of get why some people are like super excited about that. Totally get that. But like this was just not connected to anything, and it was like, well, yeah, we've had like it does certain things that other games haven't done, like having a really smooth transition between space and the planet and being able to explore this. Even though it is not infinite, it's functionally infinite because you'll never be able to see it all.
It's 2 to the power 64 planets, is it? So there's like just over 18 quintillion, I think it is.
It's this fucking ridiculous amount.
Yeah, so you're never going to see it all. So it's functionally infinite. Like I get why all that stuff is cool, but I just don't understand why people were so hyped for it. I literally can't understand it.
Can I jump in here?
Okay.
Have you been on the internet before?
That's a fair point, actually.
The primary function of the internet is to latch on to anything either slightly positive or slightly negative, and then blow it up into the best thing or worst thing ever. So this game has covered both. It was like beforehand it was quite good, so people jumped on it and was like, okay, this is going to be the best thing ever. And then as soon as it wasn't the best thing ever, people jump on that and say, okay, well this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And then in a week people have forgotten about both. It's kind of how the internet. It's kind of how the internet does.
You're not wrong.
It's an awful place.
But still, like you see my point.
I think you mean it's the worst place.
Like it was just such a ludicrous amount of hype for a game that's not connected to anything.
Luckily enough, I managed to avoid any possible hype for the game apart from the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is done by one of my favourite bands. So I heard that they announced that they were doing the soundtrack to this weird little indie game.
It's 65 Days of Static.
65 Days of Static, yeah, they do like, it's kind of instrumental math post-rock. You can't describe it without sounding pretentious, but it's really...
Yeah, but I'm getting that.
Yeah, if anyone's listened to the soundtrack, that's kind of what they do. But for this, they did like, they've recorded, like, they wrote songs, and then they broke the songs down into different bits and recorded all those, and then worked with the sound designer guy to make their music procedural. So, I don't exactly know how it works, because I haven't played it, but... So it meant I was quite hyped for it, because in my head it was just a little indie game that they were doing a soundtrack for. So I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then I literally, the game side of things, I avoided all of the hype somehow. So I was getting quite excited about it just for the soundtrack. And didn't hear any of this nonsense that's happened. And then it came out, I was like, okay, cool, it's a little indie game we explore around, it's got a cool soundtrack. Wow, why is this all over the internet?
But yeah, no, I just don't understand it. I really don't, because it's true. Yeah, you know, the internet is a hype machine.
Yeah, they'll just latch on to things. I think, I don't know. I'm starting to get a bit frustrated by the internet, to be honest, at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I really can't.
No, I get you. But it can be a complete fucking stupid shithole a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, because it's just. There is some things to be justifiably angry or excited about, but a lot of the stuff the internet gets wound up about, they'll have forgotten in a week, and it's just like, oh, come on, guys. Just enjoy it if you enjoy it, or don't play it if you don't.
Yeah, and if someone else doesn't, fucking who cares?
I think the big difference is, like, you know, yeah, like, we complain a lot about everything.
Oh, yeah, we do.
But the thing is, like, we don't, like...
You don't make death threats about things.
Yeah, we don't make death threats.
Like,
we don't try and bring other people down because they have a different opinion to us. It's like, it's fine. If you like games we hate, fair enough. Because we probably like lots of games you hate. And same goes for music and movies and everything. You know, everyone's got their own opinions.
Oh, I love trash. So...
What, like actual garbage? No, actual refuse?
Yes.
Okay.
You got a fucking problem with that?
No. That's pretty much what my music. That's pretty much what my music taste is. So I can't say anything.
The world keeps on spinning. Exactly.
But yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't get why like it has to be this kind of all or nothing kind of attitude of like you're either right or you're wrong. Yeah,
exactly. There's no grey area on the internet. You're either with me or against me, sort of thing.
So, welcome to the MisanthroPod, where we actively bash our user base and everyone else. Ever.
No, we're only bashing the idiots.
Yeah, we're only bashing the ones. Which is like, fucking... Stop sending death threats, you wankers.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb.
Honestly, I don't think there is ever a fucking situation where it will ever be okay to threaten to kill someone.
Especially not over something... like... You know, I can see that there are some areas in extremes of life.
Like when someone's hacking in a video game.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I don't know. Someone has literally kidnapped your children, and so you tell them you're going to kill them. That's acceptable.
No, that's okay.
I mean, you probably shouldn't kill them.
As a rule of thumb, never threaten to kill someone. It's a douchey thing to do.
Yeah, especially if it's about a video game.
Don't ever, unless it's like someone's holding your family to hostage, going, "I'll kill you if you don't finish No Man's Sky."
Yeah.
Then okay, maybe you can threaten to kill them then.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't, because
No.
that's bad, but, you know,
rude.
I can understand frustration getting you to the point that you would threaten.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, basically there is nothing that ever happens in a video game that warrants giving a death threat. Even if you don't mean it, you're just doing it as a sign of frustration. Remember, there's a human being at the end of that who has to fucking read that.
Even if someone remakes one of your favourite games as a pachinko machine.
No, that's completely no. I joke, but like no. Even like I just think Konami's a dumb fucking company. I would.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. And you can be pissed off with them. That's absolutely fine, obviously.
Yeah, I'm pissed off with them, but I'd never like get an email of someone and go, "Hey mate, I'm coming to fucking kill you because of that pachinko machine," because I'm not a fucking idiot.
I mean, hell, even I think I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but like, I remember when because my actual name is Matt Ward, as has been established before, which is obviously the same name as the guy from Games Workshop who was notorious for a while for doing really, really shit codexes.
Yeah, they were.
They were dreadful.
And a while back, like 4chan found me and couldn't work out if I was that Matt Ward, because obviously I was drawing 40k fan art. Although they should have probably been able to tell that I wasn't him, because A, I was good at what I was doing, and B, I wasn't drawing Ultramarines.
Well, yeah.
But
you look nothing alike.
well, yeah. And the thing is, like, I got like some awful messages, like people say like they wish I was dead and stuff, and I was like, look, this isn't even aimed at me. It's aimed at some other Matt Ward, but still, like, I've got to fucking read that. And I got one of those on my fucking birthday a few years back, and it was like, oh, for fuck's sake, guys, like, seriously, like, I don't like his codex as much as an X-Man. Well, actually, I probably don't like them less than most people, because, you know, the whole hyperbolic nature of the internet, but like, he's just a guy. Like, so he's not very good at his job. If we hated everyone that wasn't very good at their job, then we hate basically everyone in the country.
Exactly. I mean, this is the thing. So I just don't like what he put out. I have no strong feelings about him one way or another.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's a very good writer. I don't think he's a very good rules writer. I don't think he's good at codexes.
Oh yeah, the rules thing was because there's just so much imbalance in it. It was just a bit.
Yeah, but
you know,
and like I'm not angry at him. I'm just kind of cranky at Games Workshop for thinking that he could do the job.
Well, yeah, that's the thing,
Because he could.
yeah, we can bitch about Games
frankly.
Workshop because they're as long as you don't get personal to the people who work there. I
Absolutely,
think that's
yeah.
like the a
Yeah,
difference.
Games Workshop can fuck off.
Because Games
but-
Workshop are terrible.
Oh, they're the worst. They are literally the worst, and I'm going to spend a week getting really angry about it and then forget.
I don't know, being angry at Games Workshop is like a full-time job.
Yeah.
It is a bit like being angry at Konami, like, even if...
It takes a lot of effort.
Like, because every week they'll do something to annoy you in a new way, so...
Yeah, they just make it so easy.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do.
But yeah, in short, yeah, No Man's Sky's release is just
Yeah.
really weird to watch as an outsider who
It's-
wasn't hyped
yeah.
for it, but still wants to play it, even knowing the problems that the people that hate it have with it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play it, but I also don't want to pay full price for it because I think it looks a little expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's functionally an infinite game, but I'm like, well, I won't want
Yeah.
to play it infinitely. I want
But
to play
you-
it.
there's-
for
there's a
hours.
lot of-
Yeah, so it's like anything procedurally generated is actually infinite. So actually, this is more limited than things like the Binding of Isaac's procedural, right? So that is actually infinite rather than functionally infinite. So
But no, like it does sound like it's kind of not completely finished as well. Like there's a lot of features that really should be there that aren't.
I actually heard of something where there was talk of some people wanting to set up a game jam where the theme of it was you have to make a game based around one of the features that they left out of the final build of No Man's Sky.
Okay, that's just a bit like that's a bit mean.
I think it was being called like No Man's Jam or something.
Oh, that does sound really mean. But yeah, I can't say. Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, if people want to leave it in like comments on this, like if there was any like one thing that made people hyped for this that I just missed because it just came out, it didn't come out of nowhere. Like I'd heard about it for ages and ages, but just this huge
Rolling ball of hype.
this rolling ball of hype that I could not pinpoint where it came from, because I mean, you know, there's loads of games that are like in development and you go, oh, that's a cool game. Like say We're Happy Few Ultimate that's now in early access,
Yeah.
and it's like I can understand being like interested in that because it's a cool concept for a game, but like where it gets like the late sequel in a long-running franchise level hype from? I just didn't understand.
I just think it won the hype lottery.
Yeah, I guess that's all it was.
Probably complete accident, just right place, right time, got picked up by the right people who spun it and made it super hypey.
Well, if you're gonna be, like, serious with your response and, like, actually insightful, then I won't ask you again.
Okay, fucking sorry. Ask Drummer Matt next time.
No, you are probably right. You are very, very probably right.
Yeah, just chaos out there.
Yeah.
Fucking internet. Ugh.
But I think on the game, it sounds like it's alright.
Yeah, seems like it's fine.
Again, one of those things that some people thought was going to be the best or worst, and it actually is just fine.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
like, it's a very clever engine, and I like how interconnected. Like, I was reading somewhere, like, they want, in order to make the different planets appear different colours, they had to, like, change the elements in the atmosphere, which ended up, like, changing the water levels on those planets or something, because it's all so interconnected, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
As an engine, and then they just put a bit of a game on top.
Well, it's the LA Noire thing where it's like the engine and the technology behind it is a little more interesting than the actual thing in the end result.
I mean, I'm sure at some point, with PC releases, you have to assume in your head that they're actually released a month after their actual release date.
Yeah, sad but true.
Which, I mean, I guess in this case, because they couldn't, if they kept getting threatened to not delay it, I guess it's a bit tricky for them. Like, well, we can release it now, but it's not quite ready. But people might legitimately try and murder us if we don't. So,
But I'm sick of my family living in fear, so I guess we've kind of got to make it ready.
That aside, at some point I'll probably get it just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, nah, can't follow you.
Yeah, no, we definitely. Well, I know I definitely want to pick it up at some point. Just I want to see how the final product kind of came out.
If it's installed, I'll play it. I'm just really not. I don't really care for those kind of games.
Oh yeah, no, it's
they
not
don't
really
really
your thing.
particularly interest me, but I'll give it a go if it's there.
Yeah. Oh, it was not an invitation for someone to buy it for us, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
Please don't.
No, stop that immediately. But I mean, if you want to buy it from me instead.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's about us.
Yeah.
Then. Are you guys all braced for your death threats?
I'm braced for my death threats. I'm used to getting them for other people, so.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So yeah, we should probably get going.
Yeah, we should. Well, thank you very much for listening, and please don't send us death threats, because that's not good. As if we needed to tell anyone, but okay.
Yeah, no, our fan base, well, I really don't like using the word fan base, but...
The people what pay attention
Audience.
to us online.
The people
audience.
what do listen to us.
Yeah.
They seem to be,
They're sensible
sane.
folk.
sensible people, sane
Yes,
people.
sane.
So they probably won't send us death threats. Probably.
Probably.
But it is the
Drawbacks
internet,
furiously
so
writing
I'm
us
not sure.
Death threat. Yeah. Right.
Love you all.
Love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Please don't hurt my family.